Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into a political feud that has all the drama, the backstabbing, and the high-stakes action of a heavyweight title fight. But before we get into the ring, you know what to do. Go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe so you never miss one of these deep dives into the stories that are absolutely blowing up. All right, let's get right into it. We're kicking things off in the middle of a truly wild, knockdown, drag-out brawl between two of the biggest personalities on the far right. Whoa. Okay, so that is an explosive accusation. And it was just thrown by Loomer, a social media influencer, directly at Marjorie Taylor Greene, a sitting congresswoman. This isn't just, a simple political disagreement. This is a full-on declaration of war. So what in the world is this all about? Well, it turns out the fuse for this massive explosion was lit by one of the most toxic, most controversial topics in American politics today, the Jeffrey Epstein files.
So at the very center of this whole firestorm is this bipartisan push in Congress to get all the documents related to the disgraced financier released to the public. Now, this is a move that has faced some serious resistance. Trump's own Justice Department had previously worked to block certain records from coming out, which, as you can imagine, makes for a very tricky political situation.
And that's exactly where Marjorie Taylor Greene comes in. In a move that pretty much surprised everybody, she broke ranks with her party's leadership and the White House to support releasing the files. Get this, she was one of only 4 Republicans to do it. And she didn't just sign a piece of paper. She actually showed up on Capitol Hill, standing right alongside Epstein's survivors. So let's do a little tale of the tape for our two main players in this political cage match. In one corner, you've got Loomer. She's a far-right influencer and conspiracy theorist who kind of acts as this unofficial online enforcer for Trump. And in the other corner, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the MAGA celebrity and congresswoman from Georgia. Both are huge figures in the movement, which is exactly why this clash is such a big deal. So, how did Loomer react to MTG's move to work with Democrats? Well, spoiler alert, it wasn't with a polite note of disagreement. No, Loomer didn't just disagree. She went on an absolute scorched earth attack. We're talking questioning Greene's loyalty, her motives, her entire place in the MAGA universe. So, according to Loomer, this had nothing to do with justice for victims. She straight up accused MTG of a calculated effort to smear President Trump. She was basically twisting the whole thing to imply that Trump was somehow protecting Epstein. She even claimed Greene was trying to paint Trump as a pedophile and flat out declared that MTG had just killed her career. And in Loomer's world, this was the ultimate act of betrayal. She called for Greene and another Republican congressman to be totally shunned, completely exiled from the MAGA movement forever. But what about MTG? How did she handle walking into this political minefield? I mean, siding with Democrats is a super risky move, and she had to know she'd take some serious heat for it. So she played this one very, very carefully. Greene's whole strategy was to champion the cause for Epstein survivors and demand transparency, all while making sure she never, ever directly challenged or even mentioned former President Trump. It was a real high-wire act. Her playbook was pretty clear. First, stand publicly with Epstein's accusers. Second, frame the whole issue as a fight for justice that's bigger than politics. Third, aim all her fire at the elites who turned a blind eye. And the finishing touch? A super bold promise to read that client list out loud on the House floor if she ever gets her hands on it. And this quote, it just perfectly captures her message. By framing this as a unifying fight that everyone should get behind, she actually managed to get some rare praise from Democrats and even some of her Republican critics, all while trying to avoid a head-on collision with Trump's base. But here's the thing. Don't think for a second this Epstein fight is where their feud started. Oh no, this is just the latest and maybe the most explosive chapter in a long, long history of bad blood between these two. Let's rewind the tape for a minute because the rivalry between Loomer and Greene has been building for a while now. And let me tell you, it has gotten incredibly personal and just plain nasty. Yeah, this feud has been escalating for months. It actually goes back to last fall when Loomer called Greene a trailer trash harpy. Then it flared up again this past July over some comments about Gaza. And then, just last month, it went completely nuclear with a rant where Loomer called MTG a homewrecker and a whore, a post so vicious it actually got flagged by X. Okay, so Why should we care about a nasty Twitter fight between two political influencers? Well, because it's about way more than just personal insults. You see, this isn't just a spat. This is a high-stakes battle for the very soul of the MAGA movement. It's a purity test playing out in real time for everyone to see, forcing people to pick a side. This whole conflict gives us this rare window into the internal power struggles happening on the far right. It basically pits Loomer's vision of absolute, unquestioning loyalty to Trump against Greene's more strategic, more political approach. And it raises this giant question: who really speaks for the MAGA base? Which, of course, leaves us with one massive question about the future of the movement. Can a political tent that's defined by loyalty even survive this kind of internal warfare? Or is one of them eventually going to get cast out for good? But hey, we really want to hear what you think. Was MTG right to cross the aisle on this issue, or was it a total betrayal? Who do you think won this round? Let us know your take in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe so you do not miss our next explainer. Thanks so much for watching.